Do not do this if you want your channel to grow. Just stop right now. Let's go through, first of all, and have a look at the channel that I'm talking about. Some of you may have seen this before. This is my 60-second love advice channel. It's exclusively, at this stage, YouTube Shorts, which, if you can probably remember from other broadcasts, are defined as videos which are 60 seconds or less and are in portrait or square format. And you really should tag them as shorts. Technically, it's not necessary, but I'm a great believer in helping the algorithms as much as I can. So you ought to tag it as shorts in the description and in the title. And to heck with it, do it in the tags as well. That's the definition of a short. They say maximum of 60 seconds. I'm getting best results with much less than 60 seconds, sort of 40 to 50 seconds, I think, is the sweet spot based upon my analytics. And those of you who have known me for a while will know that I'm very much of the geek mentality and tend to be data driven. So when I say 40 to 50 seconds, that's based on numbers, not gut feel. So quick overview of the performance of the channel. Where are we now? 1,173 subscribers. Not that I care very much about subscribers, and nor should you, but 1,000 subscribers is a useful breakpoint, because once you've got the view time, you need 4,000 hours of view time within the previous 365 days, and you've complied with YouTube's ever-increasing labyrinthine and Kafkaesque user guidelines, which effectively means don't say anything too controversial, too interesting, no profanity, and all of the other stuff that they update every time somebody tries to sue them, then you'll be granted monetization rights. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you. Monetization, don't expect to get rich on it unless you're getting millions of views, but it's a good start. 1,000 subscribers is a good benchmark to aim for. Just to put that money in context, depending on your niche, can be anywhere down from about $3 per million views, sorry, per 1,000 views, up to as much as $50, even $60 per 1,000 views. So, you know, if you're in a good niche and get good traction, then you can make good money. And I personally have known people who have made ridiculous sums of money off of the back of AdSense. So far, though, this channel, since it started, has only got 221,000 views, nearly 222,000, isn't it? So it's a smallish channel, but it's only been going for a little while, and it only has shorts on it. I think at the moment, shorts are a little bit like the cryptocurrency of videos on YouTube, because they're so new that when I started, they hadn't even been rolled out throughout the whole of the world, and I still don't believe that they're out of beta in many parts of the world. So it's much more volatile. If you were starting a channel where you weren't doing shorts, you were doing longer videos, then you can expect more consistent results than this. There's a lot of volatility in the shorts market or the short space. So that's the overview. What I want to do with you, and I've got some slides which go into some detail on this. It's going to be a little bit of a geeky presentation. So actually, I'm not going to make an apology for that, because it has to be geeky. If you're going to be successful on YouTube, you need to start living in your analytics, because it's the analytics that are going to guide you to success. And the main tab that we will be concentrating on here is the audience tab. Why the audience tab? Because fairly recently, YouTube has added metrics into here which are just so useful if you know how to read them, that I seem to spend most of my time now in this tab. The main thing that we'll be looking for is the number of new viewers which are coming to our channel, and these are shown here in blue or turquoise, and the number of returning viewers. Think of returning viewers as active subscribers. I'm using that term carefully, because to be a returning viewer, they don't actually need to be a subscriber. In fact, as I said before, who cares about subscribers once you've got 1,000 people? Much better to have people that aren't even subscribed and come back regularly than people that are subscribed and hardly ever watch your videos. I could do a whole live stream on why, but just take it from me at the moment that this purple line is what we should be working on. So what I'm going to do in the the slides that follow is I'm going to break this timeline down into different segments. And I'm going to give you a commentary on what was happening at those times, and what the indicators showed for those times, so that you can hopefully learn from what I've done and not do what I tried and didn't work. Remember, the whole reason for setting this channel up was to experiment with shorts. So some experiments are going to work, some experiments are not going to work. That's the nature of experimenting, isn't it? Okay, so back to the presentation. First bit. First thing I want you not to do is not to give up, because I started this channel on the 22nd of December, and I published every day, sometimes more than once a day, a shorts video. So nothing happened for the first 48 days. As we can see here, if we look at this, both the blue line and the purple line, absolutely nothing happened for the first 48 days. That's 48 days of getting up in the morning, producing a video, putting it up there, and it feeling very much like I was shouting into the void. Most people, I don't know, maybe that's disingenuous, but many people, I suspect, after doing it for a month, 7 days a week, at least once a video, and seeing no feedback whatsoever, might think there's no market for this and just give up. Dan's 44 days in. Brilliant. Dan, carry on. I respect your consistency. So just don't give up, because eventually you'll either get views or you'll get data. And in the early days of a YouTube channel, both views and data are equally valuable, because the views will tell you what your viewers like. And if you're not getting views, the data will help you adjust course so that you do start getting the subjects of the videos that people would want to see in order to get views. But you get nothing if you either don't start or you give up. And in my time as a consultant, helping people grow their videos, growing their YouTube channels, that's the one thing that I fight against all of the time. I can teach them everything that they need to know to be successful, but I can't get them to regularly press the record button. Dan, who's on Facebook, has said he's in 44 days and he's producing videos, I'm presuming consistently. Chris, I know, is also on the chat, and he's had some great success with YouTube already. That's because he pressed record, and I'm hoping that he's not going to give up. Chris says we're 4 months in and broken 600 subs. That's brilliant, isn't it? And Chris would not have done that had he not pressed record. It sounds obvious, but it's often the simple stuff where people go wrong, isn't it? It's like going to the gym. All you got to do is get out of bed and go to the gym, lift heavy stuff. You will lose weight. Not a difficult concept, but just hard to do. So I implore you, please don't give up. Next slide. Don't be inconsistent. Now, let's have a look at what happens when you are consistent, rather. So after this first sort of place out in the wilderness, I didn't give up and I continued. And in early February, I started to get some traction. You can see here the blue line is starting to go up, and this is the algorithm starting to take me seriously and put my videos in front of prospective audiences which it thinks may want to watch the videos. I'll let you into a secret here. YouTube absolutely hates new channels. Why do you think that is? Why would you think that YouTube would hate a channel that's just started? That's simple. Because most channels that just start just stop. So it's not worth YouTube risking the opportunity of putting your stuff in front of people until you've proven to YouTube that you're going to be around and consistently produce good stuff. Because if YouTube puts your video in front of somebody and you don't watch it, there is a very real commercial opportunity loss there, because had they put a video in there from a creator who had a track record of continuing to produce good content that people want to watch, YouTube would have been in a much better position to be able to sell them advertising. So you've actually got to prove yourself to the algorithm that it's worth them giving you a shot. So please don't be inconsistent. If you are consistent, you will see that the blue line will start to grow as YouTube puts your videos in front of new audiences. Your challenge then, and I hadn't really got it right here, is that the purple line, which is the repeat viewers, was not growing in proportion to the blue line. So people were watching the videos, but they weren't coming back. So what this said is that I needed to tweak my content to try and make more people interested in coming back and watching more. So I tried a bit of an experiment, and that's the subject of the next slide. You can see this little spike here. If I go on to this next slide here, what I did, this is March the 29th, which was my birthday. So put that in your diary next year. Love beer, love scotch, just out of interest. 29th of March, I thought I'll plan something special for my birthday because that's how sad I am. What I did is in advance, I made a whole bunch of videos about zodiac star signs and love compatibility. Now, as you know, zodiac star signs are complete and utter nonsense. There's no scientific basis for them whatsoever. It's complete rubbish. But that doesn't matter because people will watch complete rubbish on YouTube, as I've proven with other channels, such as my Go Slow TV channel, where nothing happens. It's all just tube journeys, videos of ducks on ponds, and my washing machine washing my underpants. So the fact that the content was nonsense isn't necessarily a reason why people wouldn't watch it. It's just that when I tried it, I released 12 videos in one go on a particular day. My particular audience didn't resonate with the concept of zodiac signs and love compatibility. How do I know that? Well, looking at the graph, we can see that there was a peak here in the blue line, but there wasn't a commensurate and sustained growth pattern in the purple line. So reading this is thanks, Chris. Chris is saying watching my pants go round would actually make him subscribe. Well, okay, I'll do a series of pants videos. This blue line here meant that the algorithm went out and tried to show my Zodiac videos to a bunch of people. People watched it, but as there's no growth in the purple line, they didn't come back for more. So what I read into that is, well, it's a good experiment, Pete, but you know, enough already with the Zodiac videos. Try something else. So that's what I did. I changed the subject type of the videos that I was making and aimed to get better traction and start to lift that all-important purple line. And I hit on a little bit of a trend then. I came away from videos about zodiacs and I started doing dating tips, first date tips, you know, more kind of mainstream pedestrian subject matter. And I wasn't afraid here of doing more of what works. So, you know, in the previous slide, the message was don't go too far off your script and try stuff which is too different. Here, it's more about don't be afraid of doing more of what works. So quite a lot of the videos that I did in April were very similar. And I used two strategies here. One, which you need TubeBuddy for, which is keyword strategies, where I would find keywords which were popular in search and then produce videos which spoke to those keywords. The other one is a slightly different velocity-based strategy, which I use vidIQ for, and I mixed and matched them a bit. I think from memory, most of these were the TubeBuddy keyword type play. It was a keyword type play. Jonathan, could that not be due to YouTube not liking more than 2 or 3 videos added to a channel per day? It could be, Jonathan. It could be that. But in my experience, it generally isn't. And now I'm getting a phone call, which I'll just need to stop. Generally isn't. Stop. I don't know how to. I'll just turn the phone off. Because if it was, I would have expected to see a spike, and then going back in a few days' time or even a few weeks' time, I would expect those videos where there was a peak to then also start to get traction. I didn't see any of that. So I'm pretty sure that this was just because there was no interest in that particular subject matter. So got onto a bit of a roll here. And the watchword here is don't be afraid to do more of what works. So I just produced more videos which had been proven to work. Then I thought, well, what I'm going to do is, because I've got a lot of other work that I need to get sorted out. I have, various channels. One of them is a nursery rhyme channel. I just signed a contract with somebody, Cadoodle TV, actually, to get lots of content up on their platform. I thought what I'll do is I'll work really hard over a weekend, and I'll do loads of videos, and I'll schedule them all out in advance. So I had days, maybe even weeks worth of videos. I spent a whole Saturday and Sunday just cranking out video after video after video, and then putting them in the memory in YouTube to have them released. But because it was all happening on autopilot, and these videos had all been produced just using keyword strategies as opposed to the vidIQ velocity strategy, when the videos were too far out in advance, I was missing out on feedback and on trends. So the reason I did this is so that I didn't have to worry about checking YouTube's analytics or producing content based upon stuff which was trending. So I loaded everything up, I just left it, and the content did okay. But as you can see, the blue line is fairly flat, and so is the purple line. So we were kind of in tick over mode while I was concentrating on other things. So the watchword that I've got from here is don't schedule stuff too far in advance. Do what I've been teaching and not doing myself here, incidentally. So I'm not even eating my own dog food here. Go in regularly, look at the analytics and tweak. Don't try and batch too far out in advance. A few days is fine. I think I'd got 28 days or even more, maybe 6 weeks worth of content uploaded in advance, which was far too far. All of these videos, incidentally, were very positive type videos, things to do, how to win things, how to get better, how to improve yourself. They're all very positive, completely against my natural personality. But that was all sort of incidental. I think that the main reason for lack of growth was just because I was planning too far in advance. So next bit, don't be afraid of negativity. And this is one of the reasons why I called the video or the live that I'm doing now something very negative. Stop doing things. July and August, I started doing a bit of an experiment by uploading videos which, rather than telling people what to do to get results, I was telling them what to avoid in order to avoid disaster. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples shortly. But these seem to really work. And you can see here that I'm getting spikes in the blue line, and I'm also getting a gentle uplift in terms of the purple line. And something which you can't see on here, but I'm going to show you in a minute, is I'm getting a lot more interaction on the negative videos. So why do people like negativity? Apart from the fact that it's fun and there's too much joy in the world, as I've said, I think it's down to two factors. I'm told by my marketing gurus that away motivation is a lot stronger than toward motivation. So people will do a lot more to avoid pain than they will to acquire gain. So if losing £10, £5, I'm a Yorkshireman, so let's say £5. Losing £5 hurts a lot more than the joy that you get if you find a fiver on the street. So I'm told, although I'd quite like that. Can't even get a pint in London for a fiver though, can you? But loss is much more painful than the joy of acquisition. So if you're telling people to stop doing things, what you're doing, I guess, is giving them a route to avoid pain, to avoid negativity. The other thing, I suppose, also is if you're telling people not to do something, then there's far more or far less effort on their part to not do something than do something. I mean, imagine if they said to lose weight, don't go to the gym. Perfect. Perfect. It just means that you have to do less. So perhaps there's two psychological vectors that are working there to support the fact that negativity seems to get traction. So if you're doing stuff all the time about positive subjects, try spinning it and do some stuff about the flip side, if you like. Just to put that in numbers, or at least graphical representation. Here's my dashboard from vidIQ. vidIQ does a thing called a channel audit, which I find is quite useful. I mean, you can get the data from analytics, but I actually think it's worth the money just to have the data displayed like this, and it also allows you to do some other stuff around the velocity plays that I was talking about. But these are the most popular videos on this channel, and I just highlighted the titles which have negative connotations in. So these are my competitors, or I like to call them unknowing, unwitting collaborators, because they're not really competition. But these are my videos here, and within the last 30 days or so, I'm getting really good traction on stuff with negative. So do not send roses. I mean, the one about do not send roses, which I'm going to go into in a bit more depth, this is the best across all of the metrics. So it's, at the moment, it's getting the most number of views per hour. It's getting the most number of total views given the time that it's been released. It's responsible for the most number of subscribers, so 231 subscribers, not far off 25% of the number of subscribers on the channel have come from this one video. And remember, in other lives, I've talked about the fact that you'll get 1 or 2 shooting stars. To be accurate, the heuristic is half the value. In this instance, number of subscribers will come from the square root of the number of videos that you produce. And that goes across almost all channels once the channel is big enough to reach statistical significance. No point trying to do it on a new channel with 2 or 3 videos. But so far I've done 276 videos on this channel. So we're starting to get to the point where the sample size is significant. So you can see most of the videos which are doing well have some sort of negative connotation. Never do this, snake oil warning, never say this, never say that, etc., etc. So let's go down. Oh, hi, Paul Skull. One of the most amazing geniuses that I've ever met on Infusionsoft. I feel honored and privileged to have you on the call, Paul. Yeah, half-order relationships, exactly. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of a deep dive into this, this one about roses. So here's the thumbnail. Thumbnail didn't have a face on it. I was looking for a picture of a lady holding roses with her face on it, and I couldn't find one. So, because normally if I'm doing a thumbnail, I will put a female face on there. I know that's sexist, but chicks get clicks, and it's been proven that female faces generally outperform male faces, whether you're targeting a male audience or a female audience. I'm not here to be woke. I'm here to tell you what the numbers tell me. The title here is Get Your Ex Back, Do Not Send Roses. So here we go. This is the main keyword. People want to know about getting their ex back, and here is something not to do rather than something to do. Quick look at the analytics. The majority of the traffic, not surprisingly, has come from the shorts feed. Took 2 weeks, though, before it took off. So it sat there and it did nothing. In fact, initially, this video didn't perform very well at all. But 2 weeks in, it suddenly started to get a lift. And this is a pattern that I see time and time and time again. Things sit dormant and then they take off. So the analogy that I always use is once you've posted a video, a bit like a firework, don't go back to it. Just leave it because it may well blow up in your face. On my main channel, my nursery rhyme channel, the video that is responsible for, I don't know, it's well over 60 million views now, did nothing for a year. And then it suddenly blew up. So don't lose heart. Don't go back to it. Don't give up. Don't fiddle with it. So it sat there dormant and then it went off, and 251. So yeah, 251 subscribers last time I looked. This number here, which is very small, is 163, and that's the number of comments. Now, normally I don't care that much about comments, and comments are not that important for the algorithm. They can't hurt, but they're not that important for the algorithm. But you can learn from the comments the temperature of your viewers, and also you can get ideas for doing other videos. This has turned out to be quite a controversial subject. And on the slide that I'm going to show you next, I've just sort of done a quick snapshot of the comments so you can see the kind of things that people are saying. And I think it's fairly evenly split. between the people that agree with the premise of the video, in other words, don't send your ex flowers, and people that disagrray with it. And some people are actually quite angry at the video. I don't know why, because I've watched it a couple of times since, and there's nothing particularly, certainly I never do anything which is rude. I never do anything which is just spam. People can agree or disagree, but the premise and the content is respectable. But, you know, I get here, this video makes me want to retch. If you've been dumped by a girl, the best way to get it back is to talk to a friend, which I strongly disagree with. Controversy. So don't be afraid of negativity. In fact, you know, I would suggest try some negativity, and don't be afraid to court controversy, so long as your message is one that you would stand by and you're not just putting out spam to devalue the internet. I feel very strongly that people shouldn't be doing that. You can agree with me or disagree with me, but it's a reasoned argument. And in the comments, I always like to kind of try and keep it civil. You can always block people if they get silly, and arguably you should. I do. I'm not a fan of profanity. Sometimes I'll let it slip through, but you certainly want to monitor your comments for hate speech and etc., and report people if they're being dicks and the name's not Richard, as I normally put it. Well, that's pretty much all I wanted to share. On the other remaining slide, these are the tools that I have been mentioning. TubeBuddy, there's my affiliate link. I don't know whether you get a discount. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Both ridiculously cheap for what they are. Only get the lowest level licenses. You don't need the big boy ones. As you get more advanced and you want access to things like A/B testing, then TubeBuddy is definitely worth an upgrade. But, you know, start small. I'll open this up for questions in a moment if there are any questions. If not, all I'll say is if you want help growing your YouTube channel, then all you have to do is give me money. And my contact details are here. Pete Bennett, UK at facebook.com. There's my email address. I'm on YouTube. I don't really bother with LinkedIn because I don't know, don't really get it. But Facebook's the place to go. Paul, can we get slides somewhere? Yeah, you can get slides somewhere. What I'll do is I'll put this recording up, and I'll tell you what I'll do. In my YouTube, I generally post these on my teaching channel. I've got a small teaching channel on YouTube. I'll post a link to a Dropbox or something so you can download those. Paul Thomas, quick question. I want to use shorts to advertise my main channel. Do I need a separate channel, or can I use a playlist for shorts? Interesting. Ooh. I've experimented using shorts on my large YouTube channel, and I found that I can't remember, I'll have a look now. I got some unsubscribes, or at least one unsubscribe. So I think there is a problem sometimes. Let's see if I can find it. There's a problem sometimes with mixing them, in that if people are expecting long content and then you short change them by putting a short up there, then it may be that they'll get disenfranchised with the channel and unsubscribe. I think going the other way, where you're doing shorts and then putting a longer video up there, that might be better, because people come to it expecting to get 60 seconds or less than 60 seconds, and then they suddenly get more content. Maybe that will work. And in fact, that's what I'm going to be testing. Trying to find this now while I'm talking. That's what I'm going to be testing next, actually. I'm going to be starting to put some longer videos on my shorts channel, because, again, it's going to be a subject of another video, I guess. You can only monetize, you can't monetize shorts which are played on the short shelf. You can only monetize shorts which are not played on the short shelf. And I can't find it. I think it's Wheels on the Bus. I've got Wheels on the Bus shorts somewhere. Let's have a look. Wheels on the Bus. Have a look. Yeah, so here's one that I published. Let's have a look in the analytics. So this is a short. So it's just over 1.5 million views. It's made me 80 quid. That's the problem with kids channels now. It's just crazy. But yeah, well, let's have a look at this one then. So this didn't do anything. until 160 days afterwards, and then it, well, sort of blew up. You can call this kind of views blowing up, not really. But let's just have a look and see if I can find, where's the subscribers in here? Let's have a look. Don't know whether I can get it from here. Oh yeah, it's brought in 1,500 subscribers. So it's not bad. I think I noticed when I initially posted it that I lost some subscribers. So maybe it's okay. But I know that that's nowhere near as many subscribers as a long video would bring in. But have a go, I guess. Paul, could you use an icon on the thumbnail to denote short content? Yes, you can. And in fact, you probably should. And I did, I think, actually put shorts on the thumbnail here. The problem with shorts, though, is when they're played on the shorts channel, on the short shelf, you can't see the thumbnail. So shorts are weird in that, you know, mostly you would put a lot of effort into designing a thumbnail. But you don't actually see them on the shorts channel. But if you put the thumbnail on there, then that will display when it's played on the desktop or on the mobile in the non-shorts shelf. And, you know, the same rules apply, really. Click-through rate, etc., may well go up. I would argue, by the way, that that if you're going to do shorts, do them square as opposed to portrait, because technically square is considered portrait by YouTube, and if you do them square, I don't know whether this one is, I'll just go and have a look. If you do them square, they'll look okay on
these are the Verbo holiday.
Shut up. They'll look okay on the desktop. They won't look brilliant, but they'll also look okay on mobile. If you do them completely portrait, then they look really good on the mobile, but they look pretty terrible on the desktop. And what I'm finding, so yeah, this isn't square, this is portrait. But if I show you my other channel, if we go into the love channel, let's have a look. I deliberately made these square because they kind of look all right square on the desktop. There's one that I did today. Let's have a look. Yeah, these are made by, these are made,
and it feels horrible.
These are made using Bidnami, which they're taking off the market on 20th of this month. So we've got 4 days left. And that's one thing I've just been trying to develop a new replacement for Bidnami over the last last month, basically. So I've done very little in terms of YouTube stuff. But you can see this doesn't look too bad when it's played on a desktop. If this was played on a Bidnami, Vidmina. Spelling's not my best. In fact, I'll type it. I think it's I'll type it to you, Paul, as a reply. Vidnami is VID. Brilliant product, Vidnami, but they've sold it to GoDaddy. So I'm desperately trying to produce a replacement with some developers over in Eastern Europe. Yeah, so I think that's all the questions, isn't it? Chris, do most people watch YouTube through their mobiles rather than laptops? That depends entirely on your niche, actually. Some people watch it, some niches are watched more on laptops than desktops, and the other way around. But the trend, the direction is very definitely towards mobile. I mean, let's have a look. Everything with YouTube, it's all about the data, isn't it? So if we go and have a look in audience, go to the main, let's go to the main channel. We'll have a look in audience. I think it's audience, or is it in reach? I never remember. Maybe it's in reach. Yeah, most of my people are coming from India, which is another reason why this revenues are pitiful. Let's have a look, browse features. Where is it? Proportion of traffic. You've caught me on the hop. I can't remember where it is. It's in one of these. It'll tell you whether it's mobile. They move them around all the time. Top playlists, top cards, end screen elements, which you can't have on kids. Maybe they've taken it away from kids stuff, actually. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but it will be in here somewhere. We can find out where they're coming from. Actually, this is another good tip if I can find it. Where are we? Traffic, browse features, playlists. Maybe they've taken it away from kids. Just a bit background on the kids stuff. They changed the rules in January of last year to basically decimate the revenues for kids and also take away some of the information about the analytics. So there's a lot of things that you can't do on kids channels. So I would strongly recommend not doing a kids channel if you've got the choice. But I can't find it. But if you have a look in yours, you will find somewhere there's the mobile and desktop split. And last time I remember looking in the kids channel, it was almost exclusively mobile mobile and tablets, because moms and dads just give the kid the device to babysit. I'll find out where that is on another channel and post it. Jonathan Hammond, advanced. Oh yeah, it probably is in advanced somewhere. Tell you what, let's have a look on the other channel. So look on the other channel. Might be easier to find. I would have thought it would be in one of these two. Can you see it? Engagement. No, maybe they put it in advanced. Let's have a look in advanced. Images. Once we go into advanced, we're into there be dragons. Should maybe do a stuff a live on some of the advanced stuff actually. But let's have a look. Playlists, traffic source. No, that won't be traffic source. More playback location. I doubt it's that. I don't know. It'll be in there somewhere. Paul Thomas, what's the short shelf? Okay, so the short shelf on your mobile. I turned mine off, didn't I? But on the mobile, there are two ways you can watch the video. You can watch them as a regular video, which is just the way that you'd see long videos and short videos, or there's like a little shelf. Yeah, it should be device type, Jonathan, but I can't see it unless I can't see it for looking. There's like little shelf where you typically get 3 videos and they're in the portrait style. And that's what's known as the short shelf. Difference is you can't see a thumbnail. YouTube will just pick a thumbnail from the video. And when it plays, you don't get any money because there's no adverts. And under more is it, and also here we go, you're right, device type. Also the view time that you watch the video doesn't count towards the 4,000 hours of view that you need in order to get that monetization sticker. Okay, so well done, Jonathan. Mobile phone, 94% on this. So 94% of people are watching this from a mobile phone in the last 28 days. Let's have a look at lifetime, see if that changes it. So yeah, 95%. Let's just see in the kids one whether it does allow me to see that, because I haven't looked for ages. So I've been too busy repurposing the content for the other network. Let's have a look, see more. Let's have a look more. But definitely that's the direction of travel, device type. There we go. Let's have a look. Come on. Blimey, it's slow, isn't it? Come on, device type. I'm on a gig internet connection as well, so I don't know whether it's Zoom slowing it down or whether they've removed it from kids' channels. Try one more time. You would have thought they wouldn't put it in if they've removed it, wouldn't you? Come on. Not playing ball. Anyway, you get the idea. It will vary depending on, oh, here we go, on your niche. So mobile, 76%, but this is going back over the lifetime. My guess is it would start trending towards more mobile use. Let's just do the last, I don't know, 90 days. Yeah, it could be calculating, Paul. Just take a while. Yeah, 85%. So heavily skewed towards mobile and tablets. I say with it being nursery rhymes, I think a lot of this is played on iPads and things because the parents just give it to the child to play with. Yeah, what a shame they messed it up. I really enjoyed making nursery rhymes. It was an absolute joy and pleasure. But no, that's the economy for you. Right, unless I have any further questions, I don't think there is any. I'll close it. And thank you very much for your time. It's been fun, hasn't it? Just a quick recap then. Don't give up. Don't be too positive. And look at your numbers. And that blue line or the turquoise line and the purple line is probably the most effective thing or useful thing that YouTube has given us in a long time. I've got some more lives coming up on other subjects. If there's anything else that you'd like me to cover, then just let me know. And if I know about it, I'll do it. If not, I'll find out. That's all you can do, isn't it? You live and learn. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Chris. Lots of love to all of you. And I wish you a brilliant week. Bye for now.